One of the better of the Hammer Dracula cycle, as well as Francis's own filmography, is certainly 1968's Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Now, I could claim that much of the Hammer Dracula cycle is really good, only Scars shines as a weaker entry in the series, and that is still is solid. Rowood Baker, and the second most viewed video on this channel. One film this one compares positively to is Francis's entry in the Hammer Frankenstein cycle. The Evil of Frankenstein of 1964 is fairly effective and solid, but pales in comparison to Terence Fisher's Frankenstein films. Whereas Francis's style upon the Dracula cycle is highly enticing, as was Sazdy's and then Alan Gibson's also. The focus upon the supporting cast of the villagers other than Christopher Lee's Dracula will likely annoy some. There's not enough Dracula in this Dracula movie, wah, but actually, well, he is in the second half and especially the final quarter abundantly, and I adore how it paces itself around Dracula encounters, demonstrating how Dracula manipulates the local populace without even being present in the scene. He manages to be felt as a sinister presence all the same. Try to view this film as a genuine attempt to do something slightly different with the Dracula formula, much as the previous entry, the masterly Dracula Prince of Darkness from the great Terence Fisher, set a standard for. Dracula's emphasis on mood and manipulation lends itself to a photographically minded filmmaker such as Francis, and perhaps the actual tension of Frankenstein, especially in movie 3 when we know he can compose a resurrected monster, was a bit lost compared with the routine spectacle of Shelley's yarn. So then Dracula had more potential for a fine horror filmmaker. Mind you, the Dracula films are of a higher standard overall to the Frankenstein films from Hammer, I will likely argue, as Frankenstein created woman to some extent, and certainly horror of Frankenstein feel like lesser entries in an otherwise strong saga. Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, a superb film from Francis, superlatively executed, even if it is a variant on what one has most likely seen once before from Hammer's Christopher Lee Dracula pictures.